Okay, this is a video to show that my Clubsport wheelbase V2.5 and the pedals V3 are not working together when I'm plugged into the data cable. So I have the data cable here, the flat RJ11, plugged into the steering wheel, into the second data hole from the back. So power, then there's a blank hole, and then there's the data cable for that, and then the shifter one. And so that's all plugged in, and everything's working except for the pedals. So if I turn that on, that works fine. Alright, it's up. And then load up the software here, the Fanatic wheel software, and I see the wheel there, and if I hit properties, and if I move the steering wheel, it works fine. And if I hit the shifter's working, and all the buttons are working on there, and all that's good. And then and even if I use the shifter, you see it's working. Okay, so that's working. And then if I press the pedals, I get nothing. So no gas, no clutch, and no brake, which is super hard to press. So gone into the update tool, 289 beta, 298 firmware, and I click update. So I'm going to show everything. Update the firmware, so start the firmware, click connect, and it goes and it says the selected firmware V298 has been loaded successfully. So flash firmware, and you see it's flashing, and it's flashing blue here. And that's going. After firmware update is complete, the wheel will restart automatically. And it does. And so there's the wheel restarting. And then, of course, it goes into Xbox mode. And I take it out of Xbox mode and center it and calibrate it. And then I have to calibrate my shifter. So neutral, reverse, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Oops, I'm not sure I got that in 7. There we go. 7. Okay, so the wheel is all good to go. And I can close this and load up the software and go back in there. And again, see that the wheel works, and I'm in 7th gear. And all this works great. And reverse gear and all that stuff, and these buttons still work, and everything's working great. But the pedals, they still do not work. So I then unplug this cable, so that's gone, and unplug it from here, gone. Find the USB cable here, click, nice click in there, so that's plugged in there, and then find the other end, which is this one, and plug it here in the front of my USB here. As soon as I plug that in, this will come up, so it still won't work in here. Still not working in there. Close that, and I see the V3 pedals, properties, and then press the pedals, and then they work great. They all work. So I know the pedals work, and the rumble works. I tried all that. So then I went update, and updated the pedals. So these are 289 beta, firmware is 130 for the pedals, and update the CSP V3 pedals. And it says load a default firmware file, hit start, and firmware update successful. So it reboots the pedals, I guess. You don't see anything happen, and that's done. So I'll go back in here, and pedals are still there, and the pedals still work, and the steering wheel, and this, let's say, go back up here, nothing's changed as far as firmware version. Back into the base, properties, and the pedals still do not work. So then I click cancel and unplug the USB again, plug in the data port, because hey, maybe this time it would work, and then plug in the data cable in the back. Bonus is I'm getting kind of good at doing this now that I've done it like 100 times. Come on. There we go. See, beside the shifter, try to get some light in there. Beside the shifter, pedals, USB is not plugged in, and pedals are gone now from the screen. Oops. Properties. Pedals do not work. Shifter still works, and the wheel still works, and the paddles and all that other stuff still works. So everything works except for when it's plugged into there. So now I'm not using it on an Xbox or a PlayStation, but I spent a lot of money on this, so I was kind of hoping that if someday I did decide to plug it into an Xbox or PlayStation, it would work. My primary use is PC, so right now, for me, the system is still working. I can still use it. I can still play my games and do some sim racing. But it would be nice with all the money I spent for this so that I have the full functionality. So I don't know. It seems to me like it's the base that's the problem here. It would be nice if maybe somehow Fnatic could send me another base if you don't have to pay for it. And then if that solves my problem, I send my bad base back or something. That way I'm not out of a steering wheel for like a couple of weeks while I wait for this one to get back to you guys and then that one to come back to me. I don't think it's the pedals. I mean, it could be the pedals, I suppose, but there's another video on YouTube which I sent you the link for, and the guy he sent back the pedals and the base, and you guys fixed the board, I guess, on the base, or sent him a new base or something like that. Anyways, hopefully this proves all the things I need to prove. Thanks.